What's up, Dragon Brood? I had a quick second here and saw that there was an announcement for Historic Anthologies 4, or yes, Historic. I don't know, I get these formats mixed up, but Historic is the one we have on Arena. Anyway, I haven't been playing a lot of Historic, but I was looking forward to Historic Anthologies to see if maybe it solves some of the problems that would make me more invested in the format. So I figured I would just review these cards live with you and see what happens. So I know the announcement's up. I haven't seen them yet. I'll go down the list with you, give you my initial thoughts. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong down in the comments. Also, if you haven't, please remember to like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That always helps me out oh so very much, and I'm super appreciative. But anyway, let's get into these cards and talk about Historic Anthologies 4. Okay, for starters, they have these laid out on the page very weirdly, so I'm just going to scroll down and talk about them, I guess. But the first one we have is Triumphant Reckoning, and this is actually a card from the recent Commander Legends set, which is actually kind of interesting that they would put something in that just released a couple months ago, but maybe they figures this makes sense in Historic. It's return all artifacts, enchantments, and planeswalker cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, but it does cost 9. I don't think 9 is really worth paying a lot of times in Historic, so unless you have some way to ramp into this or some kind of weird trick or maybe something that can lead to you just outright winning the game, possibly, I can't really see why else you would want to do that. So not really something I'm sure you'd want to spend that kind of mana on, but it is a neat card at least. Declaration in Stone. This is actually a decent removal card from a while ago. You exile, well, it's one colorless and a white. Sorcery. Exile target creature and all other creatures its controller controls with the same name as that creature. That player investigates for each non-token creature exiled this way. And Investigate gives you the token that creates a clue, and then you can sack that. Not sure if it's necessary as a removal card, but if there's something that makes a bunch of tokens, you can remove all those. So that's actually kind of cool. So maybe that's a thing if you're worried about playing against any of the zombies that that are out there. But it's tough. I don't know if that's where the format is. I don't know so far if either of these cards really gets me motivated to play more Historic. We do have Thraben Inspector, which is a 1 mana, 1/2. When Thraben Inspector enters the battlefield, investigate. Not bad. It's just mostly fine. If you decide you want to do something with humans, it's probably cool. It is a soldier. I don't know anything we have that really counts soldiers and cares, so I'm not really sure it fills any of those slots. But it is a 1/2 body, so that counts for something, I suppose. Next up, we have Think Twice, which is a colorless and a blue, instant, draw a card, flashback, 2 colorless and a blue. I mean, it's fine, I guess. I don't know what to say about it. It's there. It's another way to draw cards. Spider Spawning. This is 5 mana, 4 colorless and a green, sorcery. Create a 1/2 green spider creature token with reach for each creature in your graveyard. Flashback of 7, 6 colorless and a black. This card's fine, but again, this was a thing that was big in limited formats and casual, weird formats. It's not something I can see people really wanting to play in Historic. Even getting 1/2s isn't great. You can find other ways to make better tokens. So, a little disappointing. Adorn Pouncer, 1 colorless, 1 white, 1/1. Creature Cat, double strike, Eternalize, 3 white. Basically, this is a 1/1 double strike. From the graveyard, you can pay the 5, and it comes back as a bigger double striker. This is another one that I'm just it's fine. I mean, there's maybe some aggro deck that you can build that wants to play 3 or 4 different double strike creatures and maybe can take advantage of something. It is a cat. I don't know if that helps. There's a few things that care about cats, but yeah, these 6 cards aren't. I don't even understand why they're being released. Truthfully, so far, Iceberg Cancrix, 1 colorless, 1 blue, 0/4 snow creature crab. Whenever another snow permanent enters the battlefield under your control, you may have target player mill 2 cards. Well, I guess we're just going to be dealing with 4 crab mill deck or 8 crab mill decks now, right? Because you're going to have this one that can mill stuff just for playing snowlands, and then you're going to have the other crab that can mill for 3. Did we need this? Probably not. I don't know what we're doing here. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, why? Man, I just don't know why. I don't know why we're doing this, but I will continue on. Merit Lage's Slumber, a colorless and a blue legendary snow enchantment. Whenever Merit Lage's Slumber or another snow permanent enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 10 or more snow permanents, sacrifice Merit Lage's Slumber. If you do, Merit Lage, a legendary... Oh, you create a Merit Lage 2020 black avatar, creature token with flying and indestructible. So obviously these two kind of go together. Not a surprise. You know, you have the snow crab that cares about snow permanents. This gives you tokens every time, or counters every time a snow thing comes in. Then you make a 2020 Merit Lage. It's fine. There's probably a way to trick it, you know, to get extra counters on it and do something. So this probably at least leads to some other deck type being built. So I can get behind that. That's a positive. But, you know, outside of that, doesn't do too much for me. Scroll here. We got Sword of Body and Mind. 3 colorless. Equipped creature gets +2/+2. Has protection from green and blue. Whenever equipped creature deals damage, combat damage to a player, you create a 2/2 green wolf, and that player mills 10 cards. Again, another mill card. Maybe fits in with some of the other strategies. It is protection from green and blue, so that's pretty nice. Could be used against them as well, since you're protection from blue and they can't block. So, the swords are always neat. I don't mind those being around. I don't know if the current formats in Historic care about it, but it's cool to have as an option. Goblin Graveler, 1 red, 1/1, trample. Goblin Graveler gets +2/+0 for each equipment attached to it. Kind of neat. You know, it does have also next to it Bone Splitter, which is a 1 colorless artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0, equip for 1. This is a good equipment, though, if you are playing an equipment-based deck. So, I mean, I don't mind that. You know, 1 mana, 1 equip. That's actually where you want to be for 2 power. Is the Groveler better than the other things you could play? Like, I don't know. But this would be a 5/1 with just a Bone Splitter on it. So it's at least worth considering. And again, this could lead to another deck type. Is that deck type good enough? I don't know. Torment of Scarabs. 3 colorless and a black. Enchantment or a curse. Enchant player. At the beginning of each enchanted player's upkeep, that player loses 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card. You know, this is fine. I mean, if you're playing heavy discard or something, it kind of fits into that theme. Not really much else to say. Like, you can gamble on it and play it if you want. Maybe there's some space here with like Turgid or something, but even then, Turgid's really expensive. But at least the Lantern you could play for 4. But this is also 4, so I don't know. Like, it's okay, I guess. Flameblade, Adept, 1 red, 1/2, Menace. It's a creature, Jackal Warrior. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, it gets +1/+0 to end the turn. This is, again, it's fine. I don't know why it's included. Like, the cycling decks don't need something like this. It's only a 1-turn bonus. It doesn't get counters or anything. It's cool that it has Menace, I suppose. But, yeah, I don't think anybody's looking to play this card. Faith of the Devoted, a 2 colorless and a black enchantment. Whenever you cycle or discard a card, you may pay 1 colorless. If you do, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Now, this actually fits into a lot of those decks, right? Like, now, if you're cycling, you're like, hey, cool. I cycled, we'll pay 1, and we're going to drain you for 2. So this is another way that cycling can get a little bit of a leg up in the format. This is the first card I think I've seen that I just, like, immediately went, okay, this fits into a deck that exists. People are playing it in Standard. At some point, it'll rotate out. Maybe this is something that gets added to those decks, so they get a little bit of a boon in Historic. Lissalana Huntmaster, 2 colorless, green, 3/3. Whenever you cast an elf, you may create a 1/1 green elf creature token. This one's fine. I don't know if the elves are going to play this as a 4-mana 3/3 that might make other bodies. The truth is, elves already have so many things. I'm not really sure where this one fits, but I don't know. Could be alright. Abomination of Llanowar, 1 colorless, green, black, XX. Legendary creature, elf, horror, vigilance, menace, so many words. Abomination of Llanowar's power and toughness are each equal to a number of elves you control, plus the number of elves in your graveyard. I don't even know if they would play this card. It's fine. It's a big body. Occasionally you'll get through. But the elves might just kill you faster with just big trampling elves. So does this have a spot? I don't know, but it's fine that it exists, I suppose. Some artifacts. We have Inspiring Sanctuary, 3 colorless artifact. Non-artifact spells you cast have Improvise, which basically lets you tap an artifact to make the cost cheaper. Maybe, like maybe there's a home. I don't know. Cold Steel Heart enters the battlefield tapped. As Cold Steel Heart enters the battlefield, you choose a color, add 1 mana of the chosen color. This is actually okay. The benefit here is that it's a snow artifact that might want to go into some of those decks, so I could see that, but otherwise, not excited. Blinkmoth Nexus becomes it's a land. You can tap for colorless, pay 1, activate it, becomes a 1/1 Blinkmoth artifact creature with flying until end of turn, and it's still a land. You can pay 1, tap it, target Blinkmoth creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This is actually okay. This is a cool little bonus land if you want something to attack with on the cheap. You know, it does have flying when it activates. Like, yeah, I don't have a problem with this card. I think it's fine. Again, is it where Historic is right now? I don't know. But the card itself is actually good and playable, so I don't mind that too much at all. Hamza, Guardian of Arashin, 4 colorless, a green-white, legendary creature, Elephant Warrior. This spell costs 1 colorless less to cast for each creature you control with a 1/1 counter. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it. And it's a 5/5. I mean, the problem is a lot of the decks that actually want +1/+1 counters, the creatures don't have a lot of colorless mana in their cost. So I'm not really sure this is the card you're going to want to have to go with those. I'm a little iffy on this one. And it's kind of pricey at 6, even if you can find a way to reduce the cost. You'd have to go pretty wide. I did try playing with this during the Commander Boxing League when that was going on during the release of Commander Legends, and it was fine, but even with, you know, granted it was a sealed format, but even being built around that mechanic, it still wasn't the easiest card to play. Ammon Eternal, 2 colorless and a black, 5/5, afflict 3. Whenever an opponent casts a creature or casts a spell, put a -1/-1 counter on Ammon Eternal. When Ammon Eternal deals combat damage to a player, remove all those counters. I tried this card in a couple of decks in Standard when it was Standard legal, and it was aggressively medium, is the term I like to use. Occasionally it would do something awesome, but it was mostly just there, blocking. It wasn't really doing a whole lot until it just died. It just stalled your opponent most of the time. It's an okay card. It is a zombie, so that might count for something. But otherwise, not excited by it. Sawdust Demolisher, 4 colorless, green. Creature, beast, originally was from one of the commander sets. Trample, mutate, 3 colorless and a green. Whenever this creature mutates, destroy target non-creature permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green beast creature token, and it is a 6/6. I mean, being able to mutate up to a 6/6 for 4 mana is pretty sweet. Being able to destroy artifacts and enchantments, pretty sweet. This might get some play. This one, like, I don't know that it will, but for 4 mana, being able to turn your creature into a 6/6 and kill something, not bad. It does also give your opponent a 3/3, which means you won't be able to attack as easily. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions, but it's at least a reasonable reprint, I guess. Harmless Offering, 2 colors and a red, sorcery, you exchange control of things. Maybe this is another world where we do this with 9 lives or something. I don't know. It kind of just feels like it fits that style of deck. And then we have Collected Conjuring, 2 colorless, a red and a blue. Sorcery, exile the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast up to 2 sorcery spells with mana costs 3 or less from among them without paying their costs. Put the exile cards cast not this way on the bottom of your library in a random order. This came out in Modern Horizons and never made an impact, so I have no idea if this is going to do anything in Historic. It's possible it could. I mean, paying 4 to get to cast 2 spells could be very powerful. So of all the cards, this is probably the most interesting one because the ceiling feels really high, but I have no idea how we get there. But if somebody figures it out, it could be pretty cool. So yeah. Otherwise, that was it. That was the cards. They say it releases on March 11, so that's next week. I will say if you need extra details here, the bundle will cost you 4,000 gems or 25,000 gold. Or as usual, if you just want one or two of the cards, you can go ahead and spin the wild cards on them. Says players will be able to craft these cards using wild cards as appropriate rarity, blah, 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 as expected. Legal in Historic Anthologies 4, so you won't be, or legal in Historic format, so you won't be able to play it in Standard, no surprise. And that's kind of it. That's everything included on that. So overall, what do I think about this release? I'm not excited by it. I think there was like 2 or 3 cards I was really like, hey, these have a home. 1 or 2 of these maybe help create a new deck type. And it still doesn't solve a lot of the problems, right? You're still dealing with Muxus. You still have the like 9 live situation that some decks just don't deal with. You know, just a lot of it doesn't solve for me, at least for me personally. And I know people love the format, so I'm not telling you don't play it. I'm not saying the format sucks. I'm just saying for me personally, it doesn't have the interaction in a lot of the games. I've seen some now with like Selesnya Angels where you end up with thousands of points of life with each side having tons of counters and whatever. And like, that's a little too much, you know, but the other side a lot of times is one person playing like a team or ultimatum deck, another person playing like elves. And it's just, do you have the right card on the right turn? If not, game's over, right? Otherwise, they just kind of play goldfish magic against each other. So, I don't know. Some people love the format. I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm just saying, like, I know people ask, why don't I put more historic stuff on our channel? One, the historic views don't do very well for me. The other is the format hasn't been fun for me. So I was really hoping there would be some things introduced here to deal with, like, I don't know, Phyrexian Obliterators and stuff. But we didn't get there. So I'm hoping these cards, I'm hoping whoever the selection committee was for these cards put some thought into them or maybe tested things to figure out where these could fit, and hopefully these do help the formats. I would love to be totally wrong and be playing more historic here in the next month, but we'll see. As for just the group as a whole, the 25 cards or whatever it is, wasn't really excited by them. They were kind of a letdown, so very disappointing. Not a lot to be excited about here compared to the last few anthologies, but that's it. As usual, remember to please like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Watch my other stuff. I put up daily videos all the time. And that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.